did Rain Day die? I mean, did this guy actually disappear? Did he get taken? And do we need to call Liam Neeson? These are all questions I'm sure a few of you have been wondering as you've seen my channel have pretty much no videos for an entire month. And I'm excited to tell you that yes, I am back, and what a way to be back as we kick off the decade with the Grand Soiree arcade event at Apex Legends. If you want to know where I was, we'll do a video on that a little bit later as I get into some more casual stuff. But today we are talking about the new Apex Legends event that is really one of the most brilliant events I've seen Apex Legends put on for many reasons, and one of them is how they secretly or not so secretly hint at Season 4 and give us almost the exact date that it will be arriving. Now, of course, this is speculation, but I do have a couple of breadcrumbs, so to speak, like Hansel and Gretel, to follow through, and I see an outline of a house. I'm not sure that means it's a house, but it looks like a house. It acts like a house, and I'm pretty sure that that means it's probably a house. So we'll talk about that later in the video, but as I want to tell you all, this soiree event is an amazing opportunity for Apex to show its stuff, strut its potential as a game, and it's probably one of the best things I've seen the studio do. Now, on the other side, there are a lot of people very upset, very mad, very angry on the pro level about the changes that have occurred to nerfing Wraith, to buffing Gibraltar. We'll talk about those in depth a little bit in this video as well. So we have a lot of things to cover. Without further ado, let's get into it, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this on my channel, where I hope to clearly and effectively explain these things. Not everyone has time to read the patch notes. Not everyone has time to, kind of decipher this on their own, and they want the fast track to the information. So that's hopefully what I can do with these videos for you guys, and also create some conversations within the community. Now that I'm back, I'm really excited about doing a lot more content in the future, and I'll give you guys a good update on my schedule as it is getting busy still again on things that are happening with the channel and outside of the channel. Some big news, some big awesome things happening. I cannot wait to update you guys. All right, so let's move into the Grand Soiree arcade event. For those of you who have been living under a rock yesterday, or maybe returning from long trips to Europe like I just did, let me tell you a bit about this event. The Grand Soiree is an arcade event that has 7 limited time event modes. What does that mean? It means that all those event modes that we've had separate single events for, like the Shadowfall mode with zombies, nighttime Kings Canyon, or the Wraith event mode, where they added a whole new labs area in the map at Kings Canyon and gave us this huge portal to the sky and gave us snipers and shotguns and little armor and called it Armed and Dangerous. Well, in 2 weeks, you're going to get to experience all of those and more. That's right. Over the course of 14 days from January 14th to January 28th, you will be playing limited time modes that switch every 2 days, giving you different experiences from things that have happened in the past in Apex, with probably a little bit of a twist. From bringing back Kings Canyon at night to the exact Armed and Dangerous mode, but on World's Edge. All of these things with a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a difference, and imagine it, if you're trying to look at it in a bigger way, like a greatest hits. It's Michael Jackson, maybe the bad example. It's the Beatles classics on one big record, or it's something like an Atari, where you see, Space Invaders and Pac-Man and 35 other Atari games on one. That's what the Grand Soiree is. It's a great way to have fun, to reminisce, and also it's a great way to throw out content. And you may wonder why they're doing that. Well, I have an answer for you, and it does hint at Season 4, which I continue to say we'll be talking about towards the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But the big reason I want to talk about the Grand Soiree first is to tell you just a little bit about what each mode will do and pique your interest for those who haven't already looked it up and are deciding whether you want to play. The first mode of the Grand Soiree is happening now. It's Gold Rush Duos, and it's basically gold weapons with only you and a friend. Duos mode plus gold weapons only. It's very fun. I have some videos, some stuff you'll probably be seeing underneath this audio, and I honestly like it a lot. I think this is a mode that you can have fun in, but it is a bit sweatier than usual, since Krabers and Mastiffs and really people who are good, they're gonna one-shot you in this game particularly. So not a lot of forgiveness for those who can't hit your shots, but it is a ton of fun, and most importantly gives you practice with gold weapons, which you don't find often in your normal looting cycles in the game. Good to know. The second mode that starts the 16th is called Live, Die, Live. And this is pretty interesting. It reminds me more of a death match or a kind of thing where you respawn on living squad mates when the ring closes, which means as long as one of your squad mates survives, your squad will keep on respawning as full. So these circles are going to get tighter and tighter, and more people are going to keep respawning into them. Say you have 10 teams, but each team only has one player alive on them. You get into that final circle, and you're going to get 30 players there. It should be really fun, and I can't wait to see how that works out until the 17th. On the 18th, it's what a lot of people saw as hints, as secret kind of Easter eggs, the third person mode, a classic out-of-body experience, they call it. You'll be able to play Apex in third person. Now, a game I used to work on called Paladins had this mode, and you could toggle it off in pubs. I found that to be maybe not the best choice, but I do find third person to be a very fun change in things with hero shooters aspects, such as abilities and weapon play. And that's exactly what Apex has. That's going to be one of my favorite modes. That's the 18th to 19th. I think that's going to be hitting the weekend, if I'm not correct. Yeah, that's going to be Saturday and Sunday. So that should be very, very fun. Now, also, the 20th to the 21st is always be closing. Now, this means you are playing in a mode where the ring is moving. Avoid big damage from a ring, and it won't slow you down, but the damage is coming, and it's forcing you constantly into altercations with other players as you cannot stand and stop. For those who like aggressiveness, that's probably the time for you to play. Armed and Dangerous on World's Edge, it's basically the same mode, but instead on Kings Canyon, it's on World's Edge. And what better to lead into a mode that was on Kings Canyon than to go back the next couple of days to Kings Canyon. It's nighttime, no zombies, it's just play on Kings Canyon at night. And I love this because they're using what we liked in the Shadowfall mode, and they're just giving us Kings Canyon to enjoy, to play, and to have fun with. Great content will come from that, and a lot of fun, I think, and a lot of memories for a lot of people who have played this game maybe in the past and haven't been as excited or enthralled with Season 3 as people like me. Lastly, you'll see the Dummies Big Day, and that just is something no one really knows what to expect. We'll be covering it when it shows up, but it's basically just dummies, AI. There was an Easter egg in Apex that was discovered recently where you can make dummies in the training range actually fight back, and this is really the culmination of that mode in action. So we'll see how that ends up working. This patch also allowed us to see a couple of fixes that they were making for different areas of the game, including fixing bad circles, although there have still been some sightings of circles that end in what would probably be considered bad locations, but they did fix a bunch of those earlier. They fixed a bug where squad mates couldn't see the player's skin of their teammates when it was equipped in the lobby. They also fixed a couple of issues where trajectory lines wouldn't appear when trying to aim the ordnance, and they fixed bugs where the minimap was showing incorrect views of the landscape east of the sorting factory and capital city. Also, they fixed some unintentional hiding spots in the train tunnels and around multiple buildings on the map. All good things. They also fixed some legend bugs, like Gibraltar. When you pick up a gold shield or gold armor, yes, gold shield, under his dome, you would receive 63% faster healing instead of the 50% that you were supposed to be. Remember, in Apex Legends, Lifeline has that extra passive that gives her 25% extra shielding in terms of doing it 25% faster than everyone else. But if you get the gold shield, it's 50%. Those two things don't stack to 75%. And so that was kind of going against the rules of the game and giving you more and not just giving you the highest value of whatever you have equipped or whatever your passive does. And so that has been changed. They also fixed a bug where Wraith could take damage from thermite ordnance, and that means that no thermites are going to be damaging you while you're using your Q ability. Which obviously allows her to actually get the value of going invulnerable and not being vulnerable, well, going invulnerable. They fixed Watson's ability to prevent. They fixed essentially the ability for her pylon to somehow be deployed through walls, and obviously that would expose it. They fixed that. They also fixed a couple of bugs with Bloodhound's passive. You can now see that the tracks will expire 30 seconds sooner than expected. That got fixed. And so now you're going to be able to see the enemy tracks better, and you're also going to be able to get a more realistic tracking time and not think that they will expire a little bit faster than they actually will. All of that was interesting, but then people got very, very upset, and that leads us to a couple of aspects that I want to now discuss that lead me into Season 4. The Legend meta, of course, is something that will always be adjusted, and we see major adjustments of that heading towards the beginning. usually the very mid and then the end of a season, because it tees us off to the next season where big, wide sweeping changes, buffs, and adjustments are made. Gibraltar gets his passive actually increased in value while he can revive squad mates faster inside the dome shield. That is a big passive, and it essentially buffs Gibraltar yet again, who has already found himself climbing up the ranks as far as competitive play and being a very deadly character in Apex as of now. Pros are a bit upset that he got another buff, but what was also very frustrating is that Wraith, one of the most crucial characters in the meta right now, was given another nerf, a big nerf as far as her movement speed. They removed the bonus movement speed from Into the Void and Dimensional Rift at the same time. Wraith will now move at their combined movement speed when they're both activated. So that means essentially she will move slower. That's essentially all you need to know about that. They've also increased the cooldown for Into the Void 25 seconds to 35 seconds. Now, for those who are just experiencing the normal interactions between using the Q or using the Rift, you're going to feel that they feel the same. But as far as combining them initially, that's where you're going to feel that they don't have that same level of increased speed to move across the map, catch up with a teammate, or rotate fast enough. Also, the increased cooldown means that you now have 10 extra seconds that you cannot use your Q. So you have to be very careful. You can't just use it in a firefight and expect it to come up another time. You have to really choose the moment that you need to use your invulnerability, and hopefully that's tactically appropriate and you don't have a lot of aggression needed onto you and you can get out of the fight without having to use it again. Crypto also had some big adjustments, and that's his drone and EMP improvements. Here's the real big thing. The drone and the EMP no longer affect friendly traps and deployables. That is huge. And the other thing is they no longer slow friendlies. If that wasn't enough, his surveillance drone also got an increase in health from 1 to 30, meaning if you're using a SMG or an assault rifle and you find yourself just shooting a couple of bullets or maybe one bullet, it will not kill it. You now need at least 30 damage, and that could be problematic, especially even if you're using a big hitter like a flatline. It only shoots 20, you're gonna have to shoot it twice, and that means that Crypto will get a chance when under cover or when under firing to be able to maneuver that drone back into safety. All of that leads me to believe that yes, there is a lot coming forward as far as Season 4, and these are some more wide-sweeping, much asked for changes that clearly have been patiently looked at by these devs. Maybe not the Wraiths, that was a bit of a surprise nerf for a lot of people, but it's clear that they wanted to adjust the meta, so to me that's not too surprising. Wraith has always been a go-to #1 character, and devs will always try to bring characters like that into balance and parity if they can. Crypto, though, has been needing that, and Gibraltar feels like it's more of just a tune to keep his passive and the dome, what it does, in alignment. Not necessarily a buff, it just feels like this dome does everything good when you're in it, and that's what this dome is about, and they may adjust on the other side start of Season 4. The big change, the big secret, so to speak, around Season 4 coming very, very soon is not what was said in this final paragraph, which is the change to energy mags. It is what you can read into that final paragraph and why why the change occurred. The change to energy mags ended up meaning that the Havoc mag size is 32 and the Devotion mag size is 44, with no extended energy mags on the map anymore. They've all been removed, and these will be the standard mag size for these weapons. Why would you do that? Well, it does seem that the designers had some notes, and here's what they said. We know that the removal of energy mags seems a bit odd, but it will make much more sense with the release of Season 4. It takes a while to make the bigger changes you see in the new season updates, and we generally make sure to filter out these changes from preceding mid-season updates. This time we made a mistake and shipped a change that wasn't intended to go live until Season 4. Now, let me just give you a bit of a awareness point. The way these design kind of updates are essentially labeled out and calendared for this studio and for most studios is they are so far in advance, you know exactly what is coming. However, that means that you still have to prepare and put things into more of the back-end testing system and not release it to the live client. However, something that was far away most likely would not have slipped into a patch right now. Really what this is telling me is that the fact that this slipped into this patch now is that most likely it was supposed to come out the very next patch, And if that means what I think it means, the very next patch should be Season 4. Now remember, this also extends until the January 28th period. Now let's look at what day that is. January 28th is a Tuesday. That Tuesday seems like it is a normal Tuesday. Events end and you may not have any other content coming out. However, what is following the very next Tuesday? February 4th. Now, February 4th is a special date. Does anyone know why? Do you remember why that date is so important? It's the day that Apex Legends launched. It's the day that this all started. It's the day that that surprise reveal and launch all occurred. And it was also a very meaningful opportunity for them to start in Q1 to announce Season 4. And that's when I believe Season 4 will be arriving. Now, if you look at the fact that this is the patch that obviously put this weird Season 4 extended mag change in when they didn't intend to, that they admitted that the full 1 year anniversary and launch of Apex Legends is coming up a week after this event ends, and that was probably intended to be in that patch, and there was a mistake along the way. And if you also include the Grand Soiree, I think we know Season 4 is probably going to arrive the 28th or the 4th. Now, the Grand Soiree is my ultimate final secret that most people may not be looking at, but a studio like Respawn to me feels like they would throw out these classic hits only if they were moving on to something bigger and better in an upcoming season. I mean, think about it. Every single month to keep us entertained, we've had a Halloween event, we've had an event prior to that, which I don't even remember what that was. We've had so many events, but they've been single month events, single moment events, a winter event, a Halloween event. We didn't throw 7 events out there. To me, this feels like they are throwing everything at us that they've used and that they could use, and giving us hints and treats and surprises, and essentially just I don't want to use a crude term, but you know what it means when you just get rid of it all. That to me is what I feel Apex Legends with the Grand Soiree is doing. Otherwise, why not save the dummy event for a whole nother thing that would happen 2 weeks from now to keep people in retention and entertained? Why not save Armed and Dangerous on World's Edge for another week or two that you might be able to extend that time period? To me, it feels like this is the stuff they could have done, the stuff they could have used, the ideas they had, and now with Season 4 approaching, they're getting rid of all of it in the Grand Soiree. That's my theory. I wonder if it will come to play. Let me know what you all think about that theory as well, because I know that it's not for everybody. I know that some people think, no, Season 4 is a little bit farther ahead, Randy. I don't think they would do that. This mode is just intentional to be a similar theme, but to me, I'm seeing that the writing is on the wall. They are getting rid of the modes that they would have used. They are preparing for something new, and I believe it is going to be right before or on the anniversary launch of Apex Legends year anniversary. I cannot wait to see what happens, and I can't wait to hear what you think in the comment section below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and the conversation. Let me know if you enjoyed the update and the information on the patch, and of course the Grand Soiree gameplay going on underneath. And also just leave a comment, say hello. I miss you guys. Love you. Never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you all next time.